I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places. I'm Jason Stanton, and this is the 14th post for Bible readers. What do you do with your Christmas cards? I know fewer and fewer people actually send a physical card, but I'm still holding on to the ancient ways. I guess you could put it in the same category as my desire to hold the book I read instead of using an e-reader. You know what else in this category? Actually calling someone instead of carrying on with texts back and forth for 20 minutes. I know, I'm old. Well, 10 or 15 years ago, Carla and I read this or saw it somewhere, or a friend of ours did this, that you could take your Christmas cards and keep them in a stack near your dining room table, and then each night your family sits down to eat, and you pull from the pile one family to pray for. So some random March evening, we get to be reminded of our friends in Virginia or Colorado or wherever, and we get to pray for them. It makes me even more excited to get their Christmas cards in November or whenever, and to write to them. It's a practice that supports a practice, if you will. I've got one of those for Bible reading too. I strongly suggest you invest in some index cards. They could be fancy, but they don't need to be. Here's what you could do with them. Make a stack of questions. Like, as you read Genesis 1 and 2 next Monday, in the upper right-hand corner, you might write the topic, creation. And then under it, write down the book, chapter, and verses that brought out the question. Then write out your question. Or it could be a thought, or it could be something inspirational that comes to mind, or maybe it's something you want to remember in this certain situation that happens in life from time to time. Whatever the reason, when these moments of wonder or inspiration or questions hit you, write them down. And on the bottom, it'd be good to write down the date for future reference sake. And then every once in a while, return to the pile, or piles if you make different piles. Remind yourself of your discoveries, your wrestling matches with God. Maybe they become the source for further journaling or artwork you'd like to do, or maybe you want to write a poem about it or set it to music. You could post it to social media along with what that verse or verses mean to you. Writing it down on paper is a good thing. It makes neurons fire together, which, as you know, helps them wire together. Some people use note cards to memorize something. Maybe you see a verse and you're like, oh, that's where that is. I'm going to set a stack of cards just in a pile to memorize. There's no limit to what you can do with this Bible reading time, but part of how you'll remain excited about reading your Bible is to engage with it beyond the 15 or so minutes a day when you're reading. These cards help keep the wisdom and themes and questions closer to the top of your mind. So your assignment today, read 14 minutes of Luke or Acts, wherever you are, and your journal prompt is, what stacks of note cards might be helpful to deepen your habit of daily Bible reading? Like, what categories? What do you plan to write down? I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.